Okay, I'm quickly going to show you how to draw a fashion sketch so that you have a template that you can put fashion ideas onto quite quickly without getting somebody from a magazine. Okay, when we're normally drawing a human head, it fits into a drawing 7.5 times. When we're doing a model, it fits in 9 times, which is why you should never compare yourself to a model, because it's actually being a genetic freak because you're so tall. When you're doing a drawing, just allow yourself a little bleed around the page and just say to yourself, it's going to fit between here and here. Once you've mapped that out, give yourself a line of symmetry. So the head that's going to fit in 9 times is going to be roughly from the top of my nail to my knuckle, so roughly about that big. The neck is going to be half the length of the head, so it will come about here. And I'm next going to decide on the angle of the shoulders. So I'm going to go that way, and the shoulders come a head width either side of the symmetry line. The body is 4, I'm just going to knock that head down a little bit. The body is 4 heads long, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's about halfway down. That would be where the pelvic bone is. On top of the pelvic bone we would get the hips, and the hips go in the opposite direction. Once I have this axis here, I would then plot in the way that the legs were going to go. So I'd just head first of all to the bottom line, and then I might decide, well, actually I want them to kick out a little bit, but this one's going to be straight. The feet are a head width as well, so having given ankles at the bottom, I would work on that detail there. The knees would come halfway, so maybe a bit higher. I would add calf muscles here and here. I would then add the arms. Now the arms will finish halfway between the hip and the knee, so they will come to here. So I would plot them in, not forgetting the axis of the elbows, and then I would draw in a general diamond shape for the hands. So these are my main points of reference for drawing the figure. I've got slanted shoulders, opposite slanted hips, I've got knees halfway between my hip and my ankle, I've added my calf muscles, my hand finishes halfway up my thigh. I can now start to work with some more general shapes. So having put in the pelvic floor, and I know that this looks a bit crude, but it does work. Okay, so now I'm thinking about where the breasts would end. I can start to work in a little bit more detail. Not forgetting the calf muscles to get more shapely leg going out and then in towards the ankles. Plotting where the knees would go. So in, out, the calf muscles, back in again for the ankles. I'll give you a shapely leg. I'm just going to hotch that leg over a little bit. Just get rid of that reference point. to start to add connecting drawings. So I'm just going to soften her up a little bit. So a nice shoulder shape. It's really important to have a good shoulder shape on a fashion drawing, because the whole, it's literally the coat hanger of the whole design. Thinking about where so if the shoulder's higher there, so the elbow would be lower there. Perhaps I would have a thumb. Don't need to go into too much detail, it's just a suggestion of where I'm not happy with that arm there, so I'm going to bring that out there. Just a suggestion of where things might lie. I'm going to plot the face so that where the eyebrows are, be in line with just above the ear. The nose will be halfway down. So I can start to just put in a suggestion of a face. Once I've got a general sketch like that, I can start to add details of what I think would work for my fashion drawing. So one student is working with buildings. So I'm going to just hodge that over so you can see. I'm going to be looking at this building and thinking about how I can translate that onto my fashion design. So first of all, I'm going to look at this crisscross here. So I'd like to work a little bit more asymmetrically than that. So I'm going to have this band going across the body like that and then coming down. So I'm working with this detail here. I'm starting to look at this curve here and how it could translate into pleats at the side, or perhaps it could be the jabara at the side. I'm looking at this detail here, the black and white stripe, and thinking that would make a great pair of boots. Which is why we don't draw the feet in, because we're going to be thinking about, you know, we might want a barefoot look, we might want a completely urban. I'm going for a platform, don't mess with me, knee-high boot here. Don't know who she is, but she's not very friendly. She's probably been in lockdown too long. So I've got that going across there. So I might have the rest coming off asymmetrically, and I might work with a panel that looks like the windows. I'm going to start thinking about some styling of her. Might give her some armbands. She's someone quite futuristic. I'm thinking about how she would look, her design. Thinking about her hair, maybe add an asymmetric earring. I might have shaved hair on that side. Once I'm happy with that, I might carry on with working in a more, like working a Sharpie, or I might work in watercolours, but that's the general idea.